I'm joined by Robert Henkel, who's a Senior Policy Officer at the European Commission. Welcome to Broadband World Forum.
Good morning, Gabriella.
So I'd like to start by asking, what are some of the challenges that we're seeing in Europe with connecting people to the internet?
The challenge is, or are the areas where the market failure. Normally it's the rural areas where the industry and the normal internet provider are not very active and are not ready to invest. And there we need support by the public, different kind of instruments, financial instruments, state aid, financial instrument, also loans, credits, support the deployment of high velocity networks.
Do you think there are particular technologies that we should be investing in?
Our policy is in generally technology neutral, but we have some targets to reach, download targets. One is, for example, that 25 all citizens should have access to minimum 100 megabit download, and all internet-oriented industry and socio-economic drivers like libraries or hospitals or schools should have a connection to 1 gigabit minimum.
And do you think we're on track for reaching those targets at the moment?
We are on the way and we had made some progress during the last year, and we have developed financial and other instruments to reach the target. For example, also technical assistance, very important is mapping as a basis for infrastructure planning, and also the cost reduction directive is very important because with this directive you are allowed to use already existing infrastructure in rural areas, glass fiber structure which is coming by water, energy suppliers, other kind of industry which have now the duty in such wide areas without any high velocity networks to open their network and so they can be integrated in the planning of new glass fiber networks.
And what about some of the differences across Europe? Are very different tactics needed for different countries?
The differences are very high because the history concerning telecom industry are very different. But we have reached during the last 10 years kind of harmonization on the velocity of free will. And we built up a cooperation of standards, minimum standards, technology standards, but also mapping standards. We are on the way to build up it. And also best practice, for example, by our Broadband award, exchanging best practice and experience in different member states to learn from another.
Thank you very much for taking the time to join me today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.